Welcome to the complete Mevo camera tutorial for CenterPointe Church. First, setting up the Mevo. Going to the soundboard setup, left of the sanctuary when entering, under the desk you will see this case. Opening this case will show us the Mevo battery pack, the Mevo camera, and please note the micro SD card adapter for later use. First thing we will do is pull out the Mevo camera and battery pack, mount the Mevo camera as such, and take this knob and spin it to the left. This will put it in lock, like so that the Mevo camera cannot fall off. Then we will turn on the Mevo camera by holding the button on the top, like so. You'll hear the sound play and it'll start spinning. This will take a while, so make sure to be patient. As you can see, it is now turned on, but the Wi-Fi is red. This green means it's connected to the battery pack, so this has no indication whether it's on or not. If the Wi-Fi is red, it will try to continue to connect to the Wi-Fi, as shown here. Once it's both green, you can see that it's connected to the Wi-Fi and the battery pack is mounted properly. We then can move on to mounting it on this pole. This pole is going to be found to the left of the stage when you're looking at it and is just screwed on right here. Make sure the camera is oriented towards the speaker or stage, and we can then plug in the power cable right here. It will go in there. The power cable is going to be left on stage and already plugged in, so all you have to do is grab it and take it up and plug it in. Next, we will go back to the presentation computer to the right of the soundboard. To the right of the presentation computer, you will see both the wireless receiver and the wireless transmitter charging. This will be used to send sound from the soundboard to the camera for better audio. First things first, this white one will be plugged in at the soundboard on top of the lip as such. To turn it on, you will hold the power button until it starts blinking. You will then also hold this power button on the receiver until it's blinking, and they will stop blinking and flash similar colors. Also, make sure that this soundboard is on, otherwise it won't send sound. Now for the receiver, you will put it on a stool next to the camera, which can be found by the keyboard or by where this pole was found to the left. There are two, doesn't matter which one you use. Notice that there is an aux cable connected to the receiver and comes out as USB. This should be attached to the receiver at all times so we don't lose it. You will connect the USB above the power into the camera as such. The entire setup should look something like this. The receiver sitting on the bench, the power cable coming from this all the way up into the camera, both this into the camera, and in this picture it's off, but these two lights should be green. Now, onto using the Mevo. Back at the presentation computer, there is a phone that looks like this. This is the power button to turn it on. However, it can be a little bit finicky, so if it's not working, make sure just to wiggle it around a little bit while clicking. That should hopefully fix it. Once open, you just swipe through the lock screen and we will click on this. This is the Mevo app. Once you open it up, we can see that this is our camera. This is the internet it's connected to, and to connect, all we have to do is click this button. Once opened, you will see this screen. Don't worry about this boost. It will disappear once you open the app. We can see that this is our picture mode. This is the scene it shows during live editing. This shows the different cameras, and this is the settings button. This is the recording button, and this is what's actually being recorded in comparison to the entire photo, which is what the Mevo can see. Make sure to orient the Mevo so you can see everybody on stage. It should be more centered if only a speaker is speaking, or it has to be a little bit off-center if we have a bunch of singers. We want to make sure everybody is on screen. Next, instead of if we go from the speakers to a pastor speaking, we don't want to have to go up and change the camera ourselves. That's where live editing comes in. By pinching in with both fingers, you can create this red box. This red box is what it will actually be recording and is shown properly up in this top corner. So it's no longer recording what's out here, even though it can still see it. To enlarge this to see it better, all you have to do is tap on it and it'll make it bigger, and then tap on it again and it'll make it smaller again. Now, we want to make sure that the sound from the soundboard is coming through. So we will click on the settings, as mentioned before, these 3 dots. This will bring up this menu, in which we will click our little microphone and bring up this. We don't want Mevo, so this will be crossed off. We don't want the phone microphone, so this will be crossed off. What we want is the USB audio. Make sure this is open and at a reasonable volume. This is kind of what we found out to be working. Now, if you don't see the USB audio at all, then you need to check the receiver and transceiver to make sure they're plugged in correctly, and try again. Make sure the output is on so it records it. However, this should always be off, because if it's on, it'll play the sound through the phone, and you don't want feedback. Backing out from this, right here, we will go back to this screen, and we can go to record. All you have to do is click this record button. It'll bring up this menu, in which we will click the SD card, which will bring up the amount of free space we have left, and the time we have left to record. Make sure to change the title to the title of the sermon, the date, and I like to add the pastor's name, but it's not necessary. And then we will hit record. Once it's recording, this bottom left will show the amount of space remaining here and the time we've been recording here. This button just brings it from the red box all the way out to full view again, so feel free to mess around with the editing a little bit before the sermon starts to get a view of all the live editing you can do. To stop streaming, we will click on this right here, and then grab it and slide to stop. This will stop the recording, and then you're done. You recorded the sermon. Good job. Now, packing up the Mevo and getting the recording off of the camera itself. To back up the Mevo, we will work a little bit in reverse. We will start by unplugging both of these completely out. Do keep in mind that the charging cable for the Mevo battery pack will be left on stage plugged in right about here. And the aux, once unplugged from the USB, will remain plugged in to the receiver. You will then take the receiver back to where it was originally found charging by the presentation table. Remember to grab the white one as well. You will then hold the buttons until both of them are completely turned off. And when you go to plug them in, they will both show red lights. That means it's charging. Both of the power cables for these are the same, so you don't have to worry about mixing and matching. And they are located here. Now, for turning off the camera, you simply hold down on the top, as such. It will play this animation and make a little beep. Please notice that this is still green. This is just the fact that it's connected to the power bank, does not indicate that it is on or off. This being off is indication that it is turned off. Now you will take this little knob and spin it to the right to unlock it to show in this position and pull the camera off. This is where the micro SD card is, and all you have to do is push in to eject it. We will then take this and take our adapter from the case, as mentioned earlier. You will slide the micro SD card into the back of it, and then you will plug the entire adapter into the soundboard computer. Now, to pull the recording off and rename it properly, you will go down to the files. You will then scroll down until you can see the SanDisk. You will click on the SanDisk, go to DCIM, click on the folders until you get to the recording, grab the most recent recording. You want to cut it and paste it on the desktop. The reason we cut is because we don't want to have multiple recordings that we don't need in the SD card taking up space. Once that's completed, we'll want to right-click on the icon, go to Properties, go to Details, and copy the title. Once we copy, we go back to General, and we will rename the name of it to the title. Now make sure that you have .mp4 still attached to the back of it, otherwise it won't work. So just follow as I do on screen. Once you've renamed it, make sure to click Apply or make sure to click OK, and you're good to go. All you have to do to remove the SD card is to make sure you go up, close the File Explorer, go to the bottom right caret, and click on the little USB icon shown here. Once you right-click, there should be an eject option, and you click eject. Once this is done, it's safe to remove the SD card, return the adapter and the SD card to their rightful places, that being the camera and the adapter into the case. If you want to check the sound of the recording to make sure it's okay, all you have to do is grab the headphones on the soundboard right next to it, unscrew the adapter, and plug the aux into the right of the two aux ports above the SD card port. You can then listen to the sound and make sure it's all right. And then just unplug it, return the adapter, screw it on, and then plug it back into the soundboard when you're finished. Here is a decent view. There's only one hole on the side of it, so. Now you will turn everything to the case that needs to be in the case. Battery pack, camera, adapter. Make sure both of the transceiver and receivers are charging with the red lights. And the aux cable is still attached in here with the receiver. Then reconfirming that the power cable for this one right here, is still on the stage and plugged in. Also, make sure to have the pole back to the left and the stool from either left or right, wherever you got it from. Finally, you lock up the case and put it back in a spot under the soundboard. And that is all. You have successfully used the Mevo camera. Good job.